Hello everybody, how you doing? Well, I haven't filmed in a while, but I remembered that volume is what matters most. So today I'll be talking about the importance of volume and also sharing a lot of what has happened lately, as I generally wasn't uploading a lot, or I wasn't filming a lot. At least I wasn't filming to upload a lot, if that makes a lot of sense. But obviously there's a reason for it, and obviously I do get my goals done anyway, but it's also, it's just a bit complicated. So let me ease it out for you. Okay, so what's the importance of volume? Volume is one of the most important things in life. So anything you want to do, literally anything, you have to do a lot of volume in it, right? A good example for me is YouTube. Making a lot of YouTube videos make me have the experience and the expertise of actually being able to make YouTube video without a problem, or a social media video without a problem. Well, you can see a lot of people actually getting into that and getting this expertise, but nevertheless, it is a good example to explain this point. Now, also with my nursing career, I am a last year nursing student. I literally have about a month to graduate. I'm genuinely like literally a nurse now. The most important thing, or what gives you the authority and the authority, is just like how long have you been and what year are you in nursing student. And literally the difference between first year and third year, it's just a lot of experience and volume, and you just get this today and tomorrow. So literally doing the same thing a lot of the times really makes you better, and not specifically like the same thing, but just doing like one thing for a long period of times, different things, different times. It's just so good for actually getting the results. I would say for the past few years, I've been actually focused more on what I can do. So, sort of, you know, how Michael Phillips says that control the controllables, which is what I can control, what I can do, instead of just focusing on the results. However, I would say probably now I'm at the point where I have to integrate results. And the only reason for it just Elon fucking goddamn Musk. He just talks about how results are important, and really it's more about his philosophy of talking about providing more value than what you consume. And when you think about it, the philosophy of itself is more of a results driven instead of action driven. Obviously everything is action driven, you can't do anything without action, but the point here is he's really results oriented, which is, I would say for me, I really have this as a new thing. I'm not used to just focus on results, and for the past 5 years, whenever I focused on results, I just lost so fucking bad. So really, literally now, literally every year, every semester, every day, every week, every month, whatever, I always make sure that I make some sort of action plans, and a lot of the times, sort of those actions make up to the results based, but really they are actions. As an example, you could say I train, let's say 500. Okay, that's too much. Let's say I train 10 times in the next 2 weeks. Well, that is an action-driven goal instead of a result, instead of like losing 1 kilogram or losing 2 kilograms, right? But a lot of the times you can have some sort of objectives that are not really, I wouldn't say as measurable as actions, but they just give you some sort of way to measure those objectives on how good you are in terms of the results. So I do train 10 times. Also, I weight myself, let's say, every fucking single day. And just by results of that, obviously what you measure, what gets measured get managed. And if you don't measure, you don't care. You will get better at that. I mean, literally for me, take me as an example. I lost weight a lot for the past few weeks because obviously I was running a lot, and I ran a half marathon, whatever. It was a lot of training for running. I lost a lot of weight. I was weighing myself. At least every time I go to a health center, we have a weigh. I go there and I weigh myself. So now I'm going on a good trajectory, going back to my original weight, right? But if I don't actually measure in the first place, I wouldn't even, it's really unlikely, or at least less likely for me to achieve that goal that I want. Now, let's talk more about volume, right? Don't we? Let's talk more about volume. So, one of the good things about volume is it just gives you the ability to have that some sort of compound interest of every single time you just can grow and grow and grow. And the crazy thing about volume, it doesn't have to be it's really relative to everybody. I'll give you an example. And it's sort of so weird for me that, I don't know, just mind-boggling for me. I run, right? I run, I do bodybuilding, right? I do fitness, I have bodybuilding goals, but I do run because I want to have also an objective, I have some sort of vision board or whatever that I do have for running that I would like to have, because since I was young, I really want to do that distance. So I do run, let's say occasionally or sometimes, or at least when I don't go to the gym, I run. So if a period I can go to the gym, I try to at least run or do home workouts. And lately, that's what got me, right, obviously with some, you know, good days and strategic thinking, got me to actually enter an athletic club and go with them to a half marathon and finish and get in the middle, whatever. But the point here, without the volume that I've actually made, I wouldn't be able to fucking enter the athletic group. Nevertheless, go with them, obviously. Because literally, I've got so much time, right? I remember about last year, I did the half marathon distance. I did it in like 5 hours walking. And it was barely, I was almost dead. Like I couldn't even continue, right? It was too slow, even walking. It's 18 kilometers. It wasn't even a half marathon yet. And now I did it in 2:20. But the point here, even if it's not the best, I'm not the fastest marathoner in the world, but nevertheless, it shows like how volume and just doing the thing actually make you better without even fucking realizing it. And I didn't even realize it, and I wouldn't realize it, except that for some reason, I was like, well, let me just go back to my old Strava account and or some Instagram stories that I've made. And then went back to my Strava accounts and sort of rethought about that, and also my Instagram videos, and it was like, fuck, I literally have upgraded myself for the past like fucking 1 year, but without even trying, which is just the crazy idea of how much progress you can make by just doing the thing again and again and again. And it doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have, I mean, for running at least, it wasn't boring. It was literally just fucking go for a run. And a lot of the times just 5 kilometers or 10K or whatever bullshit I'm thinking about, or go for the longest I can do and come back hitchhiking. It doesn't really matter. But the point here, it really showed me how much volume actually matters. I will give one other example as well, which is with languages. I'm right now learning German. And I was actually doing the deep research mode on ChatGPT, and I was actually researching all the ways that you can learn a language. Not the craziest, but the most direct way is hours. How many hours you spend per language actually is a direct correlation or a direct cause or a direct indicator for what level you're gonna be at that language, right? For me, as an example, in English, it makes all the sense to be a C1 or C2 level at least. Why? Because I've spent, tens of thousands of hours in my life talking in English. Same thing with other languages. But the point here, when I saw that, and even like the research have some sort of distribution, like 100 hours for the first level, which is A1, 200 or 300 for A2, about 200 or so for B1, about 200, 300, 400 for B2. It's like a cumulative about 600, 700, 800 hours. It just shows how insane it is that just the hour distribution of something can actually make you, or a direct indicator of how good you are in that specific thing. I'll give even more example to drive this home. Thesis. I was actually writing my own thesis. I'm making my own thesis right now with my group, and I decided to make this video. But last year or the last 2 years, I had a thesis service. I'm not sure how ethically it is, but I was actually helping people who will drop out of college, and they work or they don't have time to make their thesis and they're gonna drop out. Someone needs to help them. I go there and I help them and I get paid. That's literally my service. So I was making theses, and in all of that period, I never done a thesis in my life. I literally had no experience, had nothing, and for most of them I just used ChatGPT and I just did it. And literally I think most of the work is just take on that stress that they have, right? And also I would see like some sort of feeling with the same thing with my group. But the point here is, just because I've done so much theses, that the next thesis always feels normal and repetitive, and it is what it is. And it's just almost mind-boggling for me, right? To actually make such things actually work. So this is just to drive this home, is that I never done a thesis in my life before, at least in the last 2 years. Now I do, because obviously I have my own thesis. It's my final year in nursing college. But I was able to make like 40 theses for other students. Obviously they paid me because they were about to drop out or they're about to lose the year and they were working, they don't have time, they have money and they were gonna lose. So I helped them, I get paid, boom. But I never made the thesis in my life before, but because I did it so many times, I was actually good at it and I was actually being able to produce those theses for those people. I was using ChatGPT at that point, but you got the point, I was actually making the job done, which just shows how much volume actually makes such a good increase of just difference in terms of everything you do in your life. And I wouldn't be able to actually talk about this topic and if I wasn't actually measuring, or I was lucky enough to actually measure these points, right? It's like with the running, I was just lucky enough to go a half marathon and made the club. I wasn't even planning to do that. It was just luck, literally, right? So if it wasn't lucky, I wouldn't probably even notice that, oh, my running has become better. I just say it's bullshit, I don't give a fuck, right? I'm not running anyway. You get the point. But that's really what's actually drives this home. And you can you can go deep into the comparisons of like some people actually have a better running career, whatever, but I'm not there. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking here about volume and how actually it can increase you and actually make you better. Okay, good. Also with these videos is the same thing. I literally, it's so crazy, you know, that in this exact place, I filmed my first video. I literally filmed the first video right here. It just was the opposite. Here was the camera. It was a phone at the time, didn't have a fucking camera. But here was the phone, and there I was, right? In the same, I'm pretty sure the same chair even. And I was just flipped. Same video, first video on this channel, right? It's like, hello, it's my first year and I'm a nursing student. And at that point, I have just lost 1 year in college. It was a horrible time. 1 month after that, my mother got cancer. It was a horrible time for me. But the point here that I'm driving this home is volume matters a lot. Volume matters more than anything else in life, right? And one essence and lesson that I've learned with this channel, and I make sure that it's pretty much the only thing that matters for me in here, is volume, volume, volume. I don't care about, I want to say I don't care about the quality, but obviously I buy the camera, I buy the mic, I buy the lighting, I buy whatever. So I do actually better the quality, but I don't really care about it that much as long as I care about the volume. Because without the volume, if you think about it, if this wasn't my 300th video, I wouldn't fucking have this camera. Wallahi, I won't. Which means I swear to God. I swear to God, I wouldn't have this camera, I wouldn't have this microphone, right? I wouldn't have these lightings. It's just because I went at it and back and back and back to it again and again and again is what actually made me able somehow to actually produce this quality, to buy the camera, to buy the lighting, to buy this. And even if it's not for like the money that comes with the channel, right? It's actually because I don't make money off this channel. It's brand new, it's just small, it's not big. But still, it's that repetition is what makes you fucking committed. It's like, I've done this 300 times. If I need to buy a camera, I'll work hard. I'll get the camera, I'll get it fucking done. If I need to buy the lighting, I'll get it fucking done. I'll get it, gotta buy a microphone, get it fucking done. You know what I'm saying? But that repetitive, that volume actually works wonders, actually works in different ways. Not only makes you better at actually making and producing the videos, as right now, my English is fucking better. Brother, if you go to the first videos that I was talking about anatomy in nursing college, you're gonna find out a lot of the sentences that I was saying were absolutely fucking horribly wrong. Terribly wrong, right? And you wouldn't even fucking notice. Actually, I noticed when I was editing a lot of the times, but still, you get the point? Right now, I'm actually not even having a script. I was fucking reading out of ChatGPT. Now I'm not. I'm talking at the top of my head. I was making a thesis. Now I'm making the video. Go back to the thesis. Okay, there is the fucking mosquitoes. And I'm talking even better, right? I'm pretty sure the quality is better. The composition is better. The sound is better. My posture is better. How I talk is better. It's just because of fucking volume. The lighting is goddamn fucking better. You know what I'm saying? But that's all what it is. Volume is literally the cheat code of Earth. Thank you and subscribe.